So yesterday, it seems like I completely dissed um, Insomniac when I said you get what you pay for, right? Um, and I don't mean that in a way that, well, Bethesda is that many times more better than Insomniac, 7 billion compared to 229 million. But there's a reason why Bethesda makes these games that are great, and Insomniac makes games that are fun. I guess, yeah, they're fun. And I'm gonna use a couple of their games as an example. Then I'm gonna go into some games that are great, Game of the Year nominees, Game of the Generation nominees, type of games, and I'm gonna show you what is separating Insomniac from being just a fun studio. You know what I'm saying? Insomniac is the girl you date, and Bethesda is the girl you marry, so to speak, right? Let's take an example. Let's use this as an example. Let's use Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, one of their more recent games. This is what separates them. Look at this. Some of you might look at this like, yeah, I've seen this before. What's the big deal? You know. So right here, Ratchet and Clank is trying to get across a gap, and he doesn't know he has a new tool. Well, he has the capability of using his new tool, his tether, to jump through that portal. And the portal basically just brings him across the gap, right? Pretty simple. Hey, look, we're on the train now. Two things. One, you can't even control that. Like, it's not even something you can control. It's on rails, it's scripted. And this is what I was saying in the previous video. The cinematics that Sony built its reputation on is a gift and a curse. And for people like me who are tired of it, for Sony themselves who are about to see a bunch of games get Game of the Year, that are not exclusive to them, that might be exclusive to the competition, this is important. This is the issue with Sony. Other great games, other games of the year nominees that are not Sony exclusive, they give you control. They give you player agency, right? PlayStation gives you cinematics. Cinematics, by definition, take control away. You watch the gameplay. And one of the big issues with that is you don't then have the capability of making the game you want to play, of molding the game you want to play, and having that longevity in gameplay, having a toolbox, a sandbox, right? This is what they should have done, right? You got the SSD, right? So powerful. You got the powerful SSD, you can jump through portals. Prove it. Give me a weapon or a tool that allows me to open portals anywhere I want to. That way I can mess with this game as much as I want to. This is what I thought this game was going to be when I first played it. I thought it was, you're in the middle of this fight, you open a portal, a dinosaur walks through. It doesn't even belong on this map. It's messing stuff up. That would have made this game amazing, right? You open a portal on the floor, it's actually a huge fall in another stage somewhere, right? These little tethers, you should be able to put them anywhere. That would have made that game of the year type of material. Why does everything have to be on rails? Why is everything Sony has to be cinematic? Something I don't control, right? It's easy to say, well, this game is gonna go this way and it's gonna look like this amazing event is gonna happen because we scripted it. It's harder to say, we're gonna create a tool and you can create the amazing moments yourself. Let's move on. I got another example for Insomniac. And this is why Spider-Man, Marvel Spider-Man 2 won't win Game of the Year. This is a good example of why. What they should have did with Spider-Man is give you player control, player agency. I'm going to show you an example of what I mean. The sad thing about this is they featured Spider-Man in Fortnite and did something almost more creative with Spider-Man as a feature character than Insomniac did with their whole game made by him. This shouldn't be I don't want to say on the rails. This shouldn't be just a cinematic, like a controlled cinematic, right? You should be able to do this at any time. Call that machine. You're on the middle of a New York street. Now you're flying low level. Not even flying low level. You're skiing on the streets of New York, kind of like Fortnite did with the cars, right? You should be able to go to JFK Airport, web swing onto a plane. The plane takes off. You jump off the plane. You what is it called? The wings. You wingsuit your way to the ground. You fly by a helicopter. Swing on that. Swing on a building. Yada yada yada. That's what you should be able to do in this game. That's giving players great tools, making a great game. But nope, we're gonna make everything cinematic. And even if they just did this little drone thing that you can attach to that, even that wouldn't be a sense of innovation, and that wouldn't be enough. But at least it would be some sort of innovation. All you're giving me was a wingsuit that we saw in the Spider-Man movie. Cool, it's gonna be fun. It's not gonna be something that I'm gonna be making my own fun. You know what I mean? Now we're gonna go to some games that are actually great, that are actually game of the generation, game of the year material. All right, so now we're gonna go to Elden Ring. Right, Elden Ring. One of the big things about Elden Ring. Look at this list right here. This is a year after Elden Ring came out. This guy, his name is Zeostorm. So fair use, and I'm giving a shout out to you. These are all the discoveries that he's had since having the game, because you have so many paths that you can find in this game, right? This was game of the year, 96 Metacritic. Let's go to Zelda, right? Another shout out, because I can't find a compilation of creations that are just made by, like a main gaming news outlet. So I'm just using some YouTubers right now. So these are some creations from Legend of Zelda. People just put these things together, made little spaceships, made little robots, made weapons, whatever the case may be, right? This is what they're doing in Zelda. This is what, and not only Insomniac, nobody in PlayStation is doing this. You know what I'm saying? And part of the problem, like I said before, is the fans. The fans want the constant cinematic gameplay. And it's going to be a time when that's not going to be enough. You already lost the Elden Ring. You put your biggest shot out there, your bazooka, God of War. You lost the Elden Ring. What do you think the rest of your company's doing? If Santa Monica ain't winning, your only chance is Naughty Dog now, because these guys, these game companies are evolving, and you're stuck in the past. Because in 1998, 1997, you made some cinematic games, and everybody's mind was blown of the movie type quality we were getting that time. That was 25 years ago. Move on. We need tools. We need freedom. Let's go to one more. So this is some of the things you can do in Starfield, right? Character creation. You know what I'm saying? You can get on your ship, do ship battles, hijack ships, pickpocket people, gather food, right? You can find your own companions, have romance, NPC interactions, right? Create outposts that give you money. I know some of this is in No Man's Sky, but I just use the newer version as an example, right? So Sony is doing some good, pretty much It's a company that does graphics and combat, graphics and combat. Some of these games they don't have combat that's good, and a lot of them don't have combat as good as Sony games. But that's all you got. So that's what separates uh, Insomniac, from being a great team and just a team that makes fun games. Yeah, so I'm not gonna hold you guys any longer. But until next time, take these companies to task, ask for better, never settle for trash. It's your man's boycott.